Can people take their seats, please? Oh, that is now working. Thank you. Good morning, everybody. If delegates could take their seats, and if I could have the General Secretary on the stage, please, we can begin Congress. Can I call Congress to order, please? Welcome, everyone, to Bournemouth. I know some of you had really difficult journeys down yesterday, so it's lovely to see you all. We will now move to the traditional opening of Congress, which is the banner ceremony. And this year, Wales and South West will be forming the banner party. And it's a great pleasure that the Race Network and the RMA banners will also form part of the procession this year. And another change, in line with motion 2 from last year's Congress, the music for this year's ceremony will be Bob Marley and the Wailers' Get Up, Stand Up. So I call Congress to order for the opening ceremony. Congress, please stand to greet the national banner.
Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Preacher man, don't tell me heaven is under the earth. I know you don't know what life is really worth. It's not all that glitters is gold. After story had never been told, so now you see the light. Hey, stand up for your right. Come on, get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now when you see the light, you stand up for your rights. Yeah. Get up, stand up. Yeah, yeah. Stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up. Get up, stand up. Don't give up the fight. Life is your right. Get up, stand up. So we can't give up the fight. Stand up for your right. Lord, Lord. Get up, stand up. Keep us traveling on. Don't give up the fight. Yeah. We're sick and tired of your ism, schism, game, dine and go to heaven in Jesus' name, Lord. We know when we understand Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes, but you can't fool all the people all the time. So now we see the light. We gonna stand up for our rights. Yeah. So you better get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up for your right.
Thank you, everybody in the banner parade. If you'd like to take your banners back to the sides, thank you so much.
Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Get up, stand up for your right. Get up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Most people think great God will come from the sky, take away everything and make everybody feel high. But if you know what life is worth, you would look for yours on earth. And now when you see the light, you stand up for your rights. Ja, get up, stand up, ja, ja, stand up for your rights. Get up, stand up, stand up, don't give up the fight. Life is your right. Get up, stand up, so we can't give up the fight. Stand up for your right. Lord, Lord, get up, stand up, keep us traveling on. Don't give up the fight. Yeah.
We're sick and tired of your ism, schism, game, dine and go to heaven in Jesus' name, Lord. We know when we understand, Almighty God is a living man. You can fool some people sometimes.
Thank you, Congress. If you could just take your seats again, thank you. Always a very emotional and lovely way to start the Congress with the banners. I now call on Congress to stand in silence as a mark of respect for departed GMB colleagues. Names will be shown on the screen, and a copy of the obituary list is on page 9 of the Congress Guide. Please stand. Thank you. Too many people gone, but not forgotten, and their legacy is that we continue their fights to make work better for our members. They will never be forgotten. I just now have a few housekeeping and safety points to make. You will find details of the fire and evacuation procedures for the venue in the final agenda and Congress Guide document, and there is a prayer room located in Solent Hall, dressing room 1 on the ground floor. I would also now like to introduce the members of the platform party. Here on my right, Malcolm Sage. On my left, Gary Smith, General Secretary and Treasurer. And throughout the week, we will be joined by members of the CEC and regional secretaries, as well as the research and policy team, who will be assisting with the agenda, and other members of GMB staff assisting with Congress. Could I also please welcome the following guests and visitors. Our general member auditors, who will be supervising counting of votes, are Jane Davis, North Western Irish region, Kevin Fox, North East Yorkshire and Humber region, and Stephen Horton, Midland region. And of course, our verbatim shorthand writers, Phyllis Hilda, Michael Thea. And this year, we are also joined by sign language interpreters from Interpreting Matters. Please welcome Karen Green, and they're all sitting over there, Russell Andrews, and Omar Yaley Davey. I would also like to welcome and thank the live subtitle writers from Interpreting Matters, who will be providing this service remotely. Other suppliers I would like to thank as well are Exhibit World U2 Events, Full Spectrum Printers, and of course Pellecraft. Without these organisations, we wouldn't have Congress running quite as smoothly. And of course, a big thanks to Gary Maziere and T5 Event Media, who provide all our staging and PA equipment in the main hall and fringes to make sure Congress really looks and feels like it always does. And most importantly, can I extend a warm welcome to all our first-time delegates, and welcome back all our delegates who we haven't seen in a few years in person. As you know, a motion was unanimously passed at our Congress in 2017 in support of the total eclipse of the Sun campaign on banning the Sun newspaper from all GMB buildings. GMB conferences and all GMB meetings. This paper remains hostile to our movement, and we shall never forget the suffering it has caused through its lies and misreporting. Could I also remind delegates that all Congress sessions are transmitted live on the GMB website and YouTube. Please ensure that you refrain from using inappropriate language and from making personal attacks on staff or any other individuals while you make your speeches. When you come up to speak, please make sure you remember to say your name and region clearly for the verbatim record, and so we all get to know each other. Please also mention if you are a first-time speaker, because you will get a big round of applause. Sorry, I've just got a bit more housekeeping to do. Delegates will be able to find all the important documents for the week in your delegates pack, which should include the one-page delegate outline programme and order of business, the income and expenditure report, and the final agenda and Congress guide. This document gives you information on Congress motions, CEC rule amendments, SOC guidelines for Congress business, including time limits for speakers, Standing Orders Committee Report number 1, representation statements for Congress, composite motions, fringe meetings, exhibitions, and seating plans. So it's all in there, so make sure you've got your copy of the final agenda and Congress guide. If there are any changes to the programme, I will give you advance warning. And would all regional secretaries please notify the Congress office of any changes to your delegation? And please use the email address for the Congress office as the first port of call for any issues. The names of all regional tellers are on the screen, I hope, and all tellers must remain in the hall whilst Congress is in session, and delegates must be in their allotted seats when a vote is taken. So to make sure to see if you are eligible to vote, please look down at your Congress credential. If it says the word delegate on it, then you can vote. All others in the hall are not eligible to vote. Moving on to the Standing Orders Committee, can I congratulate Karen Dudley on her election as chair of the Standing Orders Committee for the second time. Well done, Karen, and best of luck. The names of members of the Standing Orders Committee is on page 21 of your final agenda, and I would also like to remind Congress that the Standing Orders Committee is made up of Congress delegates, each elected by your own delegation. They are your colleagues and work to ensure that Congress runs to preserve our debate and democracy in this hall. I now call Karen Dudley, Chair of the SOC, to move Standing Orders Committee Report number 1, which is on page 20 of your final agenda.
President, Congress, Karen Dudley, London Region, Standing Orders Committee Chair, formally moving SOC Report number 1. President, Congress, before I move for the report, with your permission, I would like to mention the passing away of one of the SOC members. Madame Lal had been an SOC member from the former Birmingham and West Midlands region. He is sadly missed, and we offer our sympathies to his family, friends, and colleague trade unionists. President, Congress, I will now move on to the report. Congress, you will find a copy of SOC report number 1 in your final agenda, starting at page 18. I formally moved adoption of that report, and in doing so, would colleagues please note the long-standing guidelines for Congress business on page 13 of your final agenda. This will help all of you, especially new delegates, in understanding the procedures and the guidelines that the President and the SOC work to. A copy of the SOC report on behalf of the SOC will be issued to delegates later today, and any further SOC reports will be issued to delegates during the course of the week. I hope this will assist everyone in being able to keep track of decisions such as withdrawn motions. Withdrawn motions. The SOC has been informed that a number of motions have been withdrawn since the printing of the final agenda. We will report these later in full today, but for now, please just note that the following motions have been withdrawn as they were due to be heard this morning. Motion 1, banner ceremony song from Southern Region. And motion 8, GMB offices, vehicles, branding from North East Yorkshire and Humber. In addition, motion 147, National Send campaign from North East Yorkshire and Humber has also been withdrawn. Would Congress delegates please note that if any further Congress motions are to be withdrawn during the week, then please advise your regional secretary, who then in turn will inform the SOC. Agreed composite motions. The SOC would like to thank delegates and their regional secretaries for agreeing 18 composite motions that also appear in your final agenda, starting at page 102. Existing policy motions. Congress, in accordance with Congress decisions adopted since 2008, the SOC is recommending that motions which are existing policies are endorsed by Congress without the need for debate, following advice from the CEC on the particular motions in question. The existing policy motions are listed in SOC report number 1 at page 19 of your final agenda. There is one further motion to add to this list, and that is motion 132, fight for immediate improvement in workers' pay and condition. There is also one further motion which is listed as EP, or emergency existing policy, which we will review and will report back to the region and Congress as soon as possible. This is motion 199, mental well-being for future workforce. You may also find it helpful to refer to the detailed report from the CEC, which is at page 114 of your final agenda. The letters EP also appears at the side of each such motion in the final agenda. Motions out of order. Congress, the SOC has ruled that there are 4 motions remaining on the agenda that are out of order for debate. First, there is one motion that would require a rule amendment to give effect to its provisions, and this is not a rule amendment year. This is motion 28, branch funds. Second, there are 3 motions which are about industrial strategy and are matters for the GMB members in those areas and the relevant GMB committees, and are not policy matters for Congress. They are motion 65, risk to female drivers, couriers and carers. Motion 69, full decant for the restoration and renewal of the Palace of Westminster. And motion 155, standardised meal and rest break procedures and penalty payments across all NHS ambulance services. The details of the out of orders motions are contained in your final agenda at page 18. President, Congress, I formally move adoption of SOC report number 1.
Thank you, Karen. Is there any delegate who wishes to speak on any of the SOC's recommendations? Yep. Can you make sure you say the motion and just keep it to the relevance of why it should be back, not your speech for it, please? Thank you.
President, Congress, Tarrant-China London region, challenging the SOC's position that Motion 62 is existing policy. Congress, Motion 51 passed in 2021, although on the disability pay gap refers to a level playing field. And Motion 77, fair pay for all, refers to a duty. But there is no mention of mandatory disability pay gap. This motion is brought to Congress because of the TUC November 2023 analysis calling for a mandatory disability pay gap. Congress, we know that things change or updated information, there's reports and analysis, which support us and provide us with the tools so that we can support our members. This is the case here. The TUC November 2023 analysis calling for a mandatory disability pay gap. If we took the SOC stance on similar motions previously, we will never have any motions at Congress, and such a position will not allow for updates. For this reason, this motion is not existing policy. We ask you to oppose the SOC's position so we can debate this very crucial motion at Congress. Thank you.
Thank you, Taraji. Can you just tell me again clearly what motion that was you were talking? 62. 62. Thank you. Karen, you have the right to come back.
Do you want to do the others first, Barbara? Do you want to do all of them
Oh,
first?
sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Sorry. Yep.
Madam President, Congress. London Region wish to challenge Motion 75 on national insurance. The SOC say it was debated last year as a motion on pensions, and we asked for a national awareness campaign for our members to continue to be worried about the state pension. Congress. Motion 75 extends the pension debate to talking about national insurance contributions. And this is a new angle as we have seen challenges this year. Please allow this motion to be debated so our policy can be enhanced.
Thank you. Next speaker, please.
Matthew Wright, London Region, first-time delegate, challenging SOC number 1 on motion 69, the restoration of the Palace of Westminster. We support decanting, or in English, moving out of a building that desperately needs restoration. The position is shared by our members, the branch, our great team of reps, their industrial officer, and our region. While the argument that Congress does not have the authority to bind the hands of those negotiators in the workplace, what we are asking is this: bind away, as it is the negotiators, the members, and the reps who want this motion to be heard, and it is our duty to support them. So please, let's use the current political climate to raise the profile of a health and safety concern for hundreds of members and the public, and vote to hear motion 69. Thank you.
Thank you. And the next speaker.
Ella Garelick, London Region, first-time delegate, challenging SOC number 1 on motion 65, risk to female drivers, couriers and carers. This motion is about the safety and well-being of countless women in our workforces and membership, and raises critical concerns that deserve our immediate attention and open discussion in the Congress Hall. Female drivers, couriers and carers face a unique set of dangers on the job, from harassment and discrimination to unsafe working conditions. The risks they encounter are unacceptable. Safety is non-negotiable. Please vote to overturn SOC number 1 and support motion 65, so we can draw national attention to the very real threats women in these professions. Let's send a clear message that we stand with women in these sectors. We are their voice in the corridors of power, actively seeking change on their behalf. Let us stand together for the women who keep our society moving forward.
Thank you. And next speaker, please.
President, Congress, Hannah Butler, NEYH Region, first-time speaker. Thank you. Congress, I think the SOC has made a mistake regarding motion 73. The policies are 10 years out of date. Climate change and the aftermath of COVID upon office maintenance following remote working, and in Asda, Factor 50 sun cream won't benefit members working with woolly hats, coats and duvets over their knees. With this in mind, please support bringing it to the floor. Thank you.
Well done. Thank you. And I'll now ask Karen to respond, please.
President, Congress, Karen Dudley, London Region, Standing Orders Committee Chair, responding to challenges to SOC report number 1. Out of order motions. Congress, in considering whether a motion is out of order, the SOC does not look at the merits of the motion. The SOC only considers whether the motion is out of order by reference to the criteria and the guidelines for Congress business, which are adopted by Congress each year and contained in your final agenda at page 13. I will deal with each challenge in turn. Motion 65, risk to female drivers, couriers and carers. This motion relates to industrial bargaining issues which ought to be dealt with by a more appropriate body than Congress, and that is the union's existing industrial structures, which are better placed to consider and advance the cause of the motion. Motion 69. Full decant for the restoration and renewal of the Palace of Westminster. This motion relates to the terms and conditions of members who work in this area, which ought to be negotiated at local level. The motion ought to be dealt with by a more appropriate body than Congress, and that is the negotiators in the workplace. Motion 62. Mandatory disability pay gap reporting. This is an important issue, but it is existing policy through motions 51, disability pay gap reporting, carried at Congress in 2021, and motion 77, fair pay for all, carried at Congress in 2022. As the motion admits, it is calling on Congress to do what it is already doing by continuing to highlight and campaign on the issue. Motion 73, health and safety working temperatures. The items covered in the motion are long-standing existing policy, starting with Composite 1, health and safety reps and temperature extremes, carried at Congress at 2010. and motion 110, working in excessive heat conditions, carried at Congress in 2015. This motion also called for the GMB National Health and Safety Department to coordinate a campaign with the TUC and other organisations to introduce relevant legislation to protect workers from excessive heat exposure. And finally, Congress 2023 carried motion 95, The Sun is Out, which called for employers to provide sun cream and regular skin checks for those that work outdoors. Motion 75, National Insurance Pension, Stop the Increase in Pension Age. The cause of the motion and the opposition to proposals to raise the retirement age are existing policy. Congress 2023 carried composite motion 6, Retirement Age, Will My Children Ever Get a Pension, which supported this call. President, Congress, I formally move the responses to the challenges of SOC Report Number 1.
Thank you, Karen. So I will now put to the vote the challenges and the references back. So take that one motion at a time. So in terms of motion 65, which was the risk to female drivers, couriers and carers, all those in favour of reference back, please show, put your hands up. All those against. Do people understand what they're doing? I'm not sure people understand what they're doing because they've not seen any hands go up. So there's been a challenge to the SOC. Some people want those motions to be put back into the agenda. If you're in favour of putting those motions back into the agenda, please show in favour. If you're against those going back into the agenda, please show against. Okay? Does that make sense now? So I'll take it again. Motion 65, which is the risk to female drivers, couriers and carers. All those in favour of it being referred back? Thank you. All those against? That's back. Referred back, yes? Yep. And then motion 69, which was the full decant for the restoration and renewal for the Palace of Westminster. Again, if you accept the challenge and you want it referred back into the agenda, then can you please vote in favour? If you don't, vote against. So all those in favour of motion 69 going back, please show. All those against? That's lost. Motion 62, which was the mandatory disability pay gap reporting. Again, all those in favour of the reference back, the challenge? Thank you. All those against? That's reference back. And then motion 73, which was the health and safety working temperature. All those in favour? Thank you. All those against? That's also referred back. And then the last one is motion 75, national insurance pension, stop the increase in pension age. All those in favour? Thank you. All those against? Okay, that's also referenced back. That challenge, those challenges were successful. So thank you. I hope that becomes clearer as the days go on. Well done to all those challenges. And then I'll take the vote now on the Standing Order Committee Report Number 1. The rest of it, obviously, all those in favour of Standing Orders Committee Report Number 1, please show. Thank you. Any against? That's carried. Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Barry. Thank you for that. These are the rules then in the Standing Orders Committee report that you have adopted for the conduct of Congress for the coming week.
Conference, it gives me great pleasure to call on our President to address Congress. But before, I'd like to show you a short video. Conference, our President, Barbara Plant.
Thank you, Malcolm. Thank you. Friends, colleagues, comrades, welcome to GMB Congress 2024. It's wonderful to be with you here in Bournemouth, back together again among so many fantastic GMB people. Congress is a special moment in the life of our great union. I remember the first time I came to a GMB Congress in 2010 when it was in Southport. It was a memorable Congress for me. I made my first speech, got red-lighted, got told off by Mary Turner, and to top it all, had my purse nicked in the town centre. Yet, I still came back for more, and have been doing so ever since. I'm looking forward to catching up with everyone, and I know you too will be keen to renew acquaintances. So for those who have been before, it's hello again from me, and for first-time delegates, it's great that you've been able to come along. Be assured, you are joining a very special group of people. Congress, let's give our Congress newcomers a very warm welcome. You'll have a fantastic time in the coming days and be making a huge contribution on behalf of your members and to the life of our great union. GMB Congress last came to this lovely part of the UK in 2016. In many respects, our country was a very different place back then. We were still in the European Union. David Cameron, boo, was Prime Minister, and Leicester City had just won the Premier League. Now, I support Crystal Palace, who have once again flirted with relegation. So whilst the world has changed in so many ways, I know some things will always stay the same. So much has changed in the last 8 years. Certainly things are very different in GMB. We are growing again. More and more people are joining our union every day. We have returned our focus to the workplace. GMB members are taking back power from bad employers everywhere. We have rediscovered our resounding voice. GMB is speaking truth to power, making sure policymakers and politicians hear the reality of our members' lives. I've seen the power of those changes at first hand, and central to this positive shift in our union has been you, the lay leadership of the union. Many of you here today are the ones who have been at the forefront of this progress, so please give yourselves a big round of applause. The importance of lay leadership to our union is shown by our fantastic reps who are there for GMB members every single day. All the work our reps do is so important, but I'd like to give a particular mention to their crucial role in tackling injustice for disabled workers. Remember, disabled workers are less likely to be in work, to earn a good wage, and to be in secure work. GMB reps are at the forefront of this battle, and we are developing a new, unseen disability campaign toolkit that will help in workplace campaigns to make work better. The union has also provided essential support to reps through a groundbreaking programme of leadership training for reps across GMB, and well done to all those that took part on that training. And Congress, let's celebrate the milestone that is the creation of our GMB Race Achievement Scholarship Programme, or GRASP. We call these GMB lay leaders. The first to have graduated from the programme are graspers, and some of them, I think many of them, are in the hall today. Can I please ask our race ambassadors to stand up? And Congress, let's show them just how proud we are of them. Thank you. This is such a historic moment for our union, as 20 years after the Henry Report, we are taking action on key recommendations. We are investing in our people for greater diversity. We are making the changes that are so overdue. I cannot tell you how proud I am of these achievements, and our union's Central Executive Council members who have been at their heart. Sadly, in recent weeks, candidates in the elections for our CEC suffered racist abuse online. We immediately reported it to the police and are doing everything we can to identify those responsible. Colleagues, GMB will fight racism and discrimination wherever it rears its ugly head. During a challenging few years of our union, it has been this CC who have provided leadership and stability. Their dedication and determination is truly remarkable. Let's show our thanks to what they've done and their vision and commitment to a better GMB. Congress here in Bournemouth over the next few days, it will be you, GMB's lay leadership, who will decide how we keep this momentum going, how we keep improving, keep getting better. The last year has shown that when we get it right, we make a huge difference. We've taken on countless industrial disputes, with GMB members coming together in struggle across a huge range of issues. Each battle shows the incredible canvas upon which our union paints its stunning picture of workers fighting for better. GMB Midlands are fighting hard for equal pay in Birmingham City Council, and we have campaigns running on the same issue in Renfrewshire, Cumbria, Sheffield, and so many other local authorities. Women GMB members are rising up everywhere to reclaim the money stolen from them through years of discrimination. Our amazing school support staff members have been campaigning hard for proper recognition of the complex job that they do. GMB North East Yorkshire and Humber Send campaign in Leeds City Council is an inspiration to all support staff across the country. And just like GMB London and Southern's battle for equality on London waiting. And of course, the solidarity of our support staff members taking action in Northern Ireland is awe-inspiring. We took these messages to the heart of Westminster, meeting with Labour's Shadow Minister for Schools, stressing the critical importance of bringing back the school support staff negotiating body. The incredible success achieved by GMB Scotland in winning £15 an hour for care workers in Moray is an inspiration to us all. In a sector characterised by long hours and low pay in female-dominated jobs, once again, it is GMB leading the way. And of course, GMB members fighting for recognition at Amazon show the very best of our union. Congress, please stand and let these glorious warriors know that we are with them all the way. Sit down now. Thank you. During the last year, I've travelled to so many parts of our union and met so many wonderful, impassioned people. I don't have time to talk about them all, and I know that if I tried, Malcolm would give me the red light. Malcolm, please indulge me for a moment, as I'd like to mention just a few. I spent a fantastic day at the Pride Festival in Weston-super-Mare. The members and reps of GMB Wales and South West were so welcoming. It was a joy to spend time celebrating diversity and showing GMB's support as an ally in the fight for equality. I visited the garment district in Leicester and saw the challenging conditions experienced by workers. This is what outsourcing looks like, and its harmful impact is as much in evidence here as overseas. International solidarity matters, not just because it is morally correct, but we cannot be free from exploitation at home if others are suffering elsewhere. So it was a privilege to meet with Swastika Aryulingam, the inspirational female president of Sri Lanka's Commercial and Industrial Workers Union, and listen to how her members are facing just the same sorts of problems. And in April, I spent a special weekend in my own region, GMB Southern, at their women's conference, The feedback from activists at this hugely successful event shows we have made great progress. Here are just some of the quotes. Blown away by the sisterhood and integrity. Feel empowered. Team of women behind me. Environment where I belong. I'm inspired to get involved even more. And it was my first conference, and I was blown away. I'm a woman on a mission now to recruit as many members as possible. Such sentiments from our members make my heart sing and should make everyone here very proud. It shows that when we get it right, when we are unified, we really make a difference. It's unity that is our strength. That's how we move mountains. At our best, GMB is a big family. And like all families, we can have our disagreements. We must be honest and reflect that we've had some challenging moments in recent months where our family unity has been tested. I hope, though, that this week will show that whatever our views, we know that there is more that unites us than divides. We are better when we are together. Congress, our unity is needed more than ever. In the coming weeks, there will be a general election and the chance to change our country, a chance to remove this tired, chaotic, failed Tory government. We've fought and won so much that's in Labour's New Deal for working people. If we are united and campaign for it, we have a golden opportunity to be at the heart of shaping a better future. That's our challenge, that's our chance. Winning a brighter tomorrow would be a wonderful victory for all that makes GMB great, not least our people. And before I finish, I want to take a moment to pay tribute to a person who's been central to making GMB what it is today, the one and only Malcolm Sage. Malcolm, come and join me. Come and join me. Yeah. This Congress will be Malcolm's last as GMB Vice President. He's been a CEC member for 32 years and out 20 years as Vice President. Our union owes him so much. He knows how highly I value him as a mentor, friend, and wise counsel. I'm proud to have worked alongside him. Let's show our thanks to an amazing person and GMB stalwart.
Thank you.
Every day, in all parts of the land, GMB people make work better. Like Malcolm has dedicated his life to our union, let's commit at this Congress to making our members proud. It's a great responsibility, but also a wonderful opportunity. Friends, colleagues, comrades, enjoy Congress. I think that's where I just tell myself that I've gone over the time limit, but there you go. Congress, before we begin our first debate, I need to explain a few points of procedure. So please listen carefully, but I will keep repeating these throughout the week, so don't worry. To save time, I will take motions in groups. Your session programme will show the grouping. So we're talking about this document. If you are speaking on any of these motions, you must register the number on your delegate pass at the desk in front before going to the chairs here in front of the rostrum, ready to speak. Please make sure that you do this every time you speak. We will have changeovers of staff at the desk. I will call movers and any seconders. But in line with motion 8, carried at Congress 2018, I will not be calling for additional supporting speakers on motions unless a delegate wants to come up and speak in opposition. If you are moving a motion without the support of your region, you must declare it at the beginning of moving your speech. Where the CC is supporting a motion, I will advise Congress. And where the CC has any other position, a member of the CC will give the reasons for their decision. We will then move to a vote of all the motions in that group, either as one or individually. Look, I'll make sure to repeat this throughout the week, but when voting, you are voting for the motion, not the CC stance. The CC stance advises Congress on how it may wish to vote. So, for example, if the CC is to support a motion, it is advising Congress to vote for the motion. If the CC stance is to oppose a motion, it is advising Congress to vote against the motion. On special reports and statements, the CC will have moving and seconding speakers. I will then invite one delegate from each region to speak on that report or statement at that time. And motions relating to special reports or statements that remain on the agenda will be debated, and I will advise Congress on the voting process during those sessions. When it comes to moving and seconding your motions, delegate will see a light on the right-hand side when they speak on the rostrum. When the light turns yellow, this means that delegates have 30 seconds left to finish their speech. And after those 30 seconds, the light will turn red. If you are still speaking when light turns red, you will be encouraged to wrap up or will be cut off. And it's just because it means that all the business can be done, and it's just polite to not take too long for your speeches and go over time, because that does cut down other people's time. Most importantly, practice your speeches, keep to time, and have fun. Finally, could I remind Congress that as you have voted in Special Report, COC Report number 1, let me find out where I am. Existing policy motions will now not be debated other than the ones we've put back, nor those motions out of order apart from the ones we've put back. Okay, so we're starting the week off with our first set of motions relating to Congress. We understand that Southern has withdrawn motion 1, so I'm asking motion 2 to be moved first, and then motion 4, and the speakers for motion 4 and motion 6, if they could come forward as well and be ready to speak. Can I also ask you to remember to make it clear if you are moving your motion without the support of your region? So can I have the mover of motion 2 from North East, Yorkshire and Humber, please come to the rostrum, and the seconder as well, please. Yeah.
Morning. President Congress, Julie Shaw, North East Yorkshire and Humber region, moving motion 2. I'm proud to be speaking for the first time for North East Yorkshire and Humber. I am here to speak about some of the confusions that's happened in the past at Congress. There were some great motions and some great speakers, but on a couple of occasions there was a lot of confusion across the whole hall and on the votes. There has been confusion amongst delegates that are used to coming to Congress, including people who attend every year. It's a nervous time for new delegates that are speaking on motions for the first time. There must be an easy way to explain motions we are voting for and motions that have been withdrawn, and when composites are discussed. I think this is by putting it in on the big screen. Congress is the supreme body of the GMB. Nothing is more important in our union than democracy. Democracy means making decisions with clarity and transparency. Too often there has been confusion on which motion we are discussing. Calling out the number of the motion on its own without the title is inaccessible to many. So this motion is asking for an extra visual aid to display the number and title of this motion as voting takes place. Congress, we're looking forward to a great week, and let's make it even better by making the simple change that will protect our democracy, make conference more accessible and better for everyone. Congress, please support this motion. I move.
Thank you. Seconder.
President, Congress, Hannah Butler, NEYH Region, seconding this motion. As members are the lifeblood of our great union, is it not better that we simplify the system, thereby making it more inclusive for the eventual entire Congress to be first-time delegates and first-time speakers? Thank you.
Thank you, Hannah. Mover of motion 4.
Good morning, Congress. President, I'm Dave Levy. I'm from London Central General Branch, and I'm speaking without the support of my region, although the vote on it was quite close. However, that means I've got an uphill struggle, as the whole region will now be voting against this position. The motion seeks to do 3 things. It seeks to give guidance to the CEC on their use of refer and qualified support recommendations, demands the CEC recognise the supremacy of Congress in the development of policy, and it also asks that the GS report is presented to delegates in a fringe to allow questions to be asked. When the CEC seek referral, they do so with the explicit threat to oppose. This threat will often lead to regions agreeing with referral despite a significant commitment to the policy. The idea put forward by the CEC that this is an agreement of equals is just not so. The request to refer would seem to be often an attempt to bury the policy and do so in the privacy of subcommittee minutes, which are difficult to follow, particularly if you are an ordinary member and not a member of the CEC. 2 years ago, I measured the actions of the CEC against motions both carried and referred. Only 30% of such motions had any recorded actions. If the CEC is to ignore Congress policy with impunity, there is little point in its debating and carrying it. I suggest that the CEC owe Congress a more straightforward presentation of their position. So unwilling to confront the logic of this argument about the need to actually have the debate on Congress floor rather than in committee rooms, the CEC have decided to argue against things the motion does not say. The motion does not, and explicitly does not, suggest affiliation motions could be used to contradict our aims, objectives, our rules, or the law. There is no blank check in this motion. I also consider the request for time to investigate and consult further to be spurious. These requests have often been on policy which all branches, all regions, or the moving branch has significant expertise and interests. How should we deal with sectional interests requires a level of complexity. I'm not sure we have it right today, but we should not allow the tail to wag the dog. Congress can and must represent the interests of the whole Union. I suggest it is wrong for the CEC to promote these sectional interests above the need for common policy and for Congress's right to speak for the whole of the membership. The motion does not seek to mandate industrial demands on affected members and qualified... The motion does not seek to mandate industrial demands on affected members, and qualified support while consulting for a mandate seems that it remains something the CEC can and should do. The CEC should be defending the policy of the Union, which is why we request that disaffiliations are opposed, since the establishment of the affiliation historically is the policy of the Union. While affiliations may seem to be the sharp point of this motion, policy on bullying, training and development, non-compete clauses and campaigning on legal aid have all been buried using the refer and ignore tactic. I accept that in some cases the proposal to affiliate may be virtue signalling by the movers of the motion, and personally I plan to think harder about asking for it, but the undermining of policies is due to priorities, one I believe to be systemic and deliberate. The proposal to discuss progress on mandates from Congress at Congress The proposal to discuss progress on mandates from Congress at Congress strikes me as a trivial request. I suppose we only do it for finance because it's the law. However, there have been significant and useful discussions in these private fringe meetings which have informed debate and reduced conflict within the Union. I can't believe, well I can believe it, but that even this modest proposal is opposed. I believe the CEC position to be disrespectful of both Congress and our policy book. I would ask you to support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dave. Can I just check with London Region that obviously you're not supporting this motion and there's no seconder? Yeah, is that right? Okay, so that motion falls because there's no seconder? And then can I take the mover of motion 6, please? And can I ask the mover and seconder of motion 7 to make themselves ready, and 9 and 11?
Yeah, hi. Hi, Madam President, Vice President, Denise. I'm Joanne McGuire from the North Western Irish region, moving motion 6, the Will Thorne Award. Last year, we heard of the fantastic work done by some truly amazing people, and we celebrated these people with awards. 2 of these awards are for health and safety, and there is the Eleanor Marks Award for a woman who has done outstanding work, helping and supporting others. Last year, my branch nominated Maddie Wilkinson for this award, which she won. So, Congress, it's absolutely right that we celebrate and commemorate the hard work people in our union do to make it better. Even to be nominated for such an award means someone somewhere is thankful and appreciates you. But what if you've done something that is truly outstanding or required a huge amount of courage and bravery to do? And if it's health and safety related, there's an award for it. If you're a woman, there's an award for it. But what if it's neither of these options? What then? What about those who don't identify as a woman? That's a lot of people in this union. So this motion calls for an award that anyone can be nominated for. It is for acts of outstanding courage and bravery in building this union through to champion equality in our workplaces, and it's to be named after our founder, Will Thorne. We could always shorten it to the Willie Award. And lastly, the reason and the real inspiration behind this motion. Kelvin, you have shown amazing courage and bravery in the work you've done. You have been part of the GRASP programme. You have spent time in our branch on days out meeting our members and helping us grow the union. You have held up a mirror to our union and made it a better place. You are an excellent example of what it means to be a trade unionist. So, Kelvin, stand up, be seen. Let's give him our thanks. Congress, I move.
Thank you, Joanne. And seconder? Are you accepting the reference back? Okay, thank you very much. So does anyone wish to speak in opposition to any of these motions? No? In that case, I will ask June Minery from the CEC to give the CEC response, please.
The speech just gets shorter and shorter. President Congress, June Minery, speaking on behalf of the CEC on motion 2. Before I outline the stance for the motion, I want to make it clear that the CEC is serious in making our Congress an event that allows members to debate their ideas and pursue policy which improves lives and working conditions. It should be a safe place and one which is inclusive. We will strive to make improvements led by the delegates in this hall and our branches. The following positions have been made in this spirit. I'll now outline the position, and it's only on motion 2. The CEC is asking that the region withdraw. Whilst the CEC appreciates the sentiment of what the motion is asking for, it's not practical to display both the motion number and title on the screen during the voting process. There are good reasons not to put some titles on the screen, and without a word limit on motion titles, many motion titles would simply not fit. In addition, our existing technology is quite manual and has the potential to slow down the running of Congress, which is already on a tight agenda if this motion is carried in full. We will commit to ensuring that the Chair makes it explicitly clear, as she's done already this morning, what items are being voted on and refers to the order of business documents. Right, we find them out now. Therefore, Congress is asking that motion 2 be withdrawn. Thank you.
Thank you, June. So we are only voting on motion 2. Just to explain it again, motion 6, the CEC stance was to refer back, and because the region accepted the reference back, we don't vote on those motions. Motion 4, this person was speaking without the support of their region, and it wasn't, obviously they didn't have a seconder, so that falls. So we're only voting on motion 2. Motion 2, we at the CEC are asking North East and Yorkshire and Humber to withdraw it. Are they agreeing to that? North East Yorkshire and Humber? Sorry, you're going to have to shout. No? Okay, I thought that might be the answer. In that case, the CEC stance is to oppose the motion. Remember, you are voting either for the motion or against, and the CEC stance is just to advise you. The CEC stance is to vote, oppose it, but I will put it to the vote. All those in favour of motion 2, please show. All those against? That is carried, that motion. Thank you. Well done, North East Yorkshire Humber. That takes us on to Union Organisation General. And could I have the mover of motion 7, please, to the rostrum? And then again, can people get ready for motions 9, 11? Yeah.
Good morning, President of Congress. My name is Jax Murphy and I am a member of the AO2 ambulance branch in the Midlands region. This Congress notes that being a woman is not a limitation. However, even in our modern world, women are limited by prejudice, inequality and the barriers placed before them in the world of work and society at large. Throughout history, women have done amazing things, but at times we hear very little about them. Most things are swept under the carpet and can be overshadowed by the achievements of men. Great women, such as Rosa Parks, whose bravery sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, was a major factor in the end of legal segregation. Malala Yousafzai, the girls' education activist who survived an assassination attempt by the Taliban and at age 15 is the youngest Nobel Peace Prize recipient, and Mary Anderson, who invented windscreen wipers. Who knew a woman invented windscreen wipers? Go Mary. These are just a few examples of outstanding achievements by women. This Congress believes that GMB women still face tangible barriers to equality and inclusion in their workplaces. We have clear demonstrations of this in the ever-increasing equal pay claims across local councils and other workplaces. Our sister, Michelle McCrossan, who we sadly lost to cancer in 2023, was instrumental in the fight for equal pay for women in the potteries and, of course, Birmingham City Council. She was courageous and stood up to the discriminatory practices against our women members, resulting in a commitment to treat all staff fairly and to ensure justice and fair pay once and for all. Michelle was tenacious and kept campaigning and fighting even throughout her illness, during which Birmingham City Council admitted massive liabilities. We want to celebrate these women change makers, shout about their achievements and communicate our support to them. Now is the time to recognise these public sector servants, to put them on a pedestal alongside their male counterparts and remember their strength, their achievements and their ability to inspire other women. We want to stand with them and recognise their valiant, tireless efforts to uphold our values of equality and equity and in inspiring more women to become the change makers of the future. From the beginnings of our movement, the only thing that has brought meaningful change is when we have stood together against the barriers of injustice and inequalities. This Congress resolves to establish an award which recognises women whose work has encouraged us to stand above the parapet, join together and be the union to our members. This award, in Michelle's name, celebrates, commemorates and inspires up-and-coming women within the public services who are actively contributing to increased equality in their workplaces. It will rightly recognise and honour the shoulders upon which we stand and the action of GMB women that have gone before us and achieved so much for so many. Congress, I move this motion.
Well done, Jacqueline. Perfect timing. Thank you. Seconder.
Hello there, delegates, President. My name is Ash Hussain. I'm from the Midlands region, first-time delegate. I'm speaking in support of Michelle McCrossan Public Service Women's Award on the basis, as we know, that the courageous stand against discriminatory practices resulted in a historic commitment to fair treatment and justice for all members within the Birmingham City Council. Michelle was very much instrumental in that. In the Midlands, we have already established an annual Equality Award in Michelle's name. But we would like to push it further, and we ask that Congress look at making a National Women's Award. Anthony Brown, one of my colleagues from the Midlands, was the first recipient of the award this year. And he was very humbled to have received the award from Michelle's husband. And he, unfortunately, is not here due to the illness, so therefore I'm speaking on his behalf. And he really believes that, that Congress should support this motion. I mean, although the GM annually honours women's remarkable achievements within with the Eleanor Marks Award, this award we are seeking to create is specific to women in public services, where women account for over 2/3 of public sector workforce. So therefore, I ask that the Congress actually pushes for this award. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ash. Does anybody want to speak in opposition to motion 7? No? In that case, can I ask the CEC Speaker, Viv, to come and give our response?
President Congress, Viv Smart speaking on behalf of the CEC, responding to motion 7. Before I outline the CEC's very small qualification on this motion, we want to thank the branch and delegates of the Midlands region for putting forward this proposal to honour the work that Michelle embodied. Michelle was a formidable campaigner and organiser who did extraordinary work for GMB. Michelle identified the equal pay issue facing our members in Birmingham City Council and inspired thousands of women to take up their fight for equal pay. That fight continues. Michelle inspired a new wave of equal pay campaigns across the country, and she is missed desperately by her union family. We know that there are many GMB activists who do not expect to win awards for the effort and determination they put into their campaigns, certainly not Michelle. They do it to get justice. They do it to ensure that workers, our members, can live and work in dignity. However, the CEC, and I'm sure Congress will agree, want to celebrate our activists, which is why we support this motion. Our very small qualifications are that the liabilities admitted by Birmingham City Council are more than £800 million, and that a number of awards have been brought to Congress this year, and so the Congress Working Party would like to look at all awards and ensure there is no repetition and that all criteria are clear. Thank you, Congress. Please support this motion with the qualifications set out.
Thank you, Viv. Does Midlands accept the qualification? Thank you. Okay, just again as a reminder to Congress, you're voting for or against the motion. So all those in favour of motion 7, please show. Thank you. Anyone against? That's unanimously carried. Thank you. We move on to union organisation, recruitment and organising. Can I have the mover and seconder of motion 9, please? And then could I ask motion 12, 13, 14, the speakers for those, get ready as well.
President, Congress, Tom Williams, North Western Irish Region, moving motion 9. We are increasingly used to using phone-based apps for important tasks. Many of us bank, order food and book taxis all through apps on our phones. We do this because they are easy and convenient ways to access information and services, and why should our trade union be any different? In our branch, we represent members across several low-density sectors and across many different workplaces. Member engagement can be challenging. An app would create another avenue of communication with members, as well as helping to keep records up to date. A number of other unions are already developing apps, and we are asking for a report reviewing options and feasibility for a GMB members app to make sure we keep up with the changing way society accesses information. Please support the motion.
Thank you, Tom. Seconder.
Good morning, President, Congress, Andrew Trickett, North Western Irish Region. Congress, I second this motion on the development of a GMB app for union members and activists. As a young member myself, I see firsthand how digital tools can bridge gaps and enhance communication and engagement within our union. The creation of an app is not only a forward-thinking initiative, but a necessary step in adapting to the evolving landscape of communication. An app would serve as an effective tool for all members and activists, regardless of age or technological proficiency. It would provide instant access to critical updates, resources and supports, ensuring that everyone stays informed and connected. Congress, your support for this motion is not just an investment in technology, but a commitment to the future of our union, fostering greater unity and engagement across all demographics. Thank you.
Thank you, Andrew. Mover for motion 11.
President, Congress, I'm Luke Simcock, H37 branch, London region, moving motion 11, the support of and advice page for GMB school support staff members. This motion addresses a critical aspect of our educational support and advice for our school support staff. These individuals play a vital role in a smooth functioning of the education institutions, and yet their unique challenges and concerns go unrecognised, but never by us. This motion highlights the importance of establishing a dedicated support and advice page on the GMB national website, tailored specifically for school support staff and members. This page would not only enhance the ability to access essential information, resources, but also foster a stronger sense of community and solidarity. By providing a centralised platform for support and advice, we can empower these individuals and ensure that they have the necessary tools to negate their roles effectively. Therefore, we call for the GMB to take immediate steps to create a dedicated support and advice page. This is imperative that this page includes resources addressing common concerns, legal information, avenues for seeking further assistance, and campaign materials. Allocating the necessary resources and support for the development and maintenance and promotion of this page is critical for its success. Collaboration with relevant people, including representatives, experts in educational support, will be essential to ensure the effectiveness and relevance of the content provided. By effectively participating in the planning, development and promotion of the support and advice page, GMB can demonstrate its commitment to supporting our support staff and their members within schools. Furthermore, we ask for regular reviews and updates of the page contents to ensure that it remains relevant and beneficial for all support staff. Our commitment to providing ongoing support and guidance for these individuals should never waver. In conclusion, the establishment of the dedicated support and advice page for school support staff members is not only just a motion, it is a testament to our dedication and to ensuring the well-being and success of all members within our educational community. Let us stand together and support this motion, work towards a better, brighter future for the schools and our school support staff members across this nation. As someone who works and walks in these shoes and now has the honour of representing my fellow support staff, I can say with certainty that this step is a step towards us having a better and more supported role within education. Thank you. Please support this motion.
Well done, Luke. Thank you. Seconder.
President Congress, Abida Uddin, L45 branch, London region, first time delegate, first time speaker. Seconding motion 11. Congress, I have been a member of GMB since 2013, and even though the national website has been useful for generic advice on work-related issues, I have noticed that there is not a page which is allocated to school support staff. This has become more noticeable since I work in a school and I became a rep last year and could not find information in order to support members or colleagues at work. It would be beneficial for school support staff to have this information to hand so they can be more confident in finding relevant information relating to their concerns instead of having to rely on their full-time officer or branch to seek that information. It would be beneficial if this page was set up and promoted to all school staff in addition to emails going to members which may not always be regular or specific to what the members are seeking advice on. We would like Congress to agree this motion so that school-based members and reps feel supported by GMB and also feel more confident in dealing with any concerns they may have. I would like Congress to move this motion.
Well done. Well done. Thank you. The CEC is supporting both of these motions, so therefore there's no need to have a CEC speaker. Again, just a reminder, you're voting for or against the motion. So all those in favour of motion 9, please show. Thank you. Anyone against? That's carried. All those in favour of motion 11, please show. Thank you. Anyone against? That's also carried. Thank you. We now move on to union organisation, recruitment and organising. Can I also ask that the mover comes from motion 12, comes up to the stage, but also that motion 16 and 18 are also ready down the front as well.
Hi again. President Congress, Luke Simcock, H37 branch, London region, moving motion 12, dedicated sign-up page for school support staff in the GMB national website. I am here committed to enhance our national website and ensuring the accessibility and efficiency for our valued support staff members. We recognise the unique circumstances requirements of these individuals. It is imperative that we demonstrate our unwavering dedication to the welfare of these and the professional recognition. As someone who works as a support staff in schools, and later I've got the honour of representing them, I have seen firsthand the challenges my colleagues face daily. Their dedication is unmatched, yet they often lack the streamlined process and resources that could make their professional lives easier. This motion addresses these issues head-on by calling for the creation of a dedicated sign-up page on the GMB national website tailored specifically for the needs of our support staff. This initiative seeks to simplify the sign-up process, making it easier and more effective for these individuals to join our union. Key features of this dedicated sign-up page include the utilisation of QR codes, allowing school support staff members to register quickly and effortlessly. Sorry, I'll get my words out. This approach acknowledges the fast-paced nature of the work and of their work and provides seamless registration experience. Therefore, the sign-up page should automatically recognise those working 28 hours a week or less on a term time only contract as being eligible for the part-time membership rate. This provides proactive membership, ensuring that these members are placed correctly on the correct rate from the outset, demonstrating our commitment to fairness and transparency. Additionally, by cooperating a drop-down box for job titles within schools, the sign-up page can serve as a valuable resource for ensuring that we are more ballot ready when the time comes. This feature not only facilitates the sign-up process, but also contributes effectively to representation of school support staff within our union. In creating this dedicated sign-up page, we reaffirm our commitment to the position the GMB has to lead positioning the GMB as the lead union for all school support staff and getting rid of people who shouldn't be there. By providing a user-friendly, tailored sign-up page process, we will not only enhance the accessibility and also strengthen our union bonds with these vital members of our educational community. In conclusion, it is the establishment of a dedicated sign-up page for school support staff on the GMB national website is a testament to our dedication and welfare of these professionals. Let us stand together and support this motion and continue to work towards the future where all of our members can feel valued and empowered. And please support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Luke. Well done. Seconder for motion 12.
Okay. President Congress, Malcolm Doran, London Region, first-time delegate. Seconding motion 12. In the previous motion and this one, the mover has outlined in great detail the importance of dedicated national web pages for school support staff. We need to be seen as a leading union for school support staff. We need a sign-up page, as we should make it easy for members to join and for school support staff members to feel GMB is the most relevant union for their profession. We are happy for this motion to be referred for fuller investigation, but we don't want too much of a delay in getting this up and running. We know regions have different approaches as to how they process term-time only workers. So we would ask that any working party this motion is referred to should include members from regional finance departments and reps and school support members. If this dedicated sign-up initiative works, it could be extended out to other industrial sectors. Please support this motion.
Thank you, Malcolm. Mover for motion 13, please.
President, Congress, Syed Raza, GMB Southern Region, moving motion 13. This motion was inspired by our experience where the retail chain Wilkinson's went bust, tragically leading to thousands of GMB members losing their jobs. We are lucky in GMB to have such a professional and dedicated officers at national office and in our regions. So this motion asks them to take on a new task where there are signs that a major employer is struggling. We need to pay attention to those early warnings and we need to develop relationship with accountancy, insolvency, and business turnaround specialists to guide us and our activists in dealing with companies in trouble and support our members. I move. Thank you.
Well done, Saeed. Thank you. Seconder.
Madam President, Congress. I'm Byron Lazarus, Southern Region, L32 branch, first time Speaker, first time at Congress. I second this motion for several reasons. Currently, GMB's approach to analysing employees' operations and financial health is limited to periods of bargaining, focusing mainly on in-year profitability or dividend figures. This narrow scope does not capture the complete picture of an employer's long-term viability. By implementing a strategy to assess employees holistically, this would allow the GMB to understand and influence factors that contribute to a long-term sustainability of the employer, thereby securing continued employment and income for its members. Developing a system for recognising early warning signs of business distress and assigning internal risk ranking is crucial. This proactive approach will ensure that GMB can allocate resources effectively, addressing potential issues before they escalate. By identifying and mitigating risks early, GMB can protect members from sudden job losses, abrupt changes in working conditions, and the adverse impacts of business failures. Establishing relationships with accountancy, insolvency and business turnaround specialists will provide GMB with expert advice and timely intervention strategies. This access to specialist knowledge will empower GMB to challenge management misinformation, negotiate more effectively, and support members through complex financial or operational restructures. A modern and forward-looking trade union must represent members' interest in the short, medium and long term. This motion aligns with the broader role of GMB and ensuring the continued viability of employers, thereby securing stable employment and income for members. Comrades, I second this motion.
Well done. Well done, Brian. Could I move of motion 14, please?
President Congress, Chris Marsh, Wales and South West Region, moving motion 14. Colleagues, we understand the importance of branch plans and how these help us navigate and prioritise actions to ensure our workplaces are organised and set out the appropriate campaigns to ensure our members' asks are met. We have a good position where we have one workplace, one plan. It gives us easy access to our members and gives us the ability to map the workplace and get our membership records as accurate and efficient as possible. With industrial action ballots thriving, accurate records are essential in providing the data needed to prevent challenge by the employer. Regardless of these workplaces, we should be able to represent and defend our members to the best of our abilities and find corrective actions where in miscellaneous workplaces, membership data and lack of campaigns cause us problems. Congress, this motion addresses the issue and asks for the CEC to create new branch review forms that allow for the understanding and recognition of mass branches which contain several workplaces, multiple councils and CLPs. We have proven that we are the campaigning union that listens to our members. How can we listen and engage with our members if we are unaware of the issues they have and where they are in the workplace? Colleagues, we need to develop a process where branches can organise as if they were a single site. We need to look at the branch reviews and branch plans which give us the opportunity to reach out and be able to understand what is needed from the branch, when and by whom. CEC have asked us to refer this motion, which the Wales and South West region have agreed. The CEC stance asks that this motion is referred so each region can consider changes to the branch development plan form when sending to general branches which cover multiple workplaces. Please support this motion to enable us to organise in every workplace platform where we have members. I move.
Well done, Christopher. Thank you. Seconder.
President, Congress. Jonathan Strachan-Taylor, Wales and South West Region, seconding motion 14. Colleagues, the GMB has been at the heart of advocating for workers' rights for over a century. GMB reps play a crucial role in ensuring fair wages, safe working conditions and equitable treatment for all employees. However, the effectiveness of the union hinges on the ability to connect with and support their members wherever they may be. Your primary function as trade union representatives is to serve as a voice for workers, representing their interests in negotiations with employers and policymakers. For us to fulfill this role, reps must have complete access to their members when and where it's needed. Effective communication is essential. Regular and open communication between the unions and their members ensures the concerns and needs of workers are accurately understood and addressed. This is particularly important in workplaces or dispersed workforces where individual voices might otherwise go unheard. Congress, we all know the strength of any union lies in its solidarity. When representatives can engage directly with their members, they adopt a sense of unity and collective purpose. This collective working is crucial for effective organising and campaigning, especially during negotiations or industrial action. Our members often face urgent issues that require immediate attention and support. Accessibility empowers workers by ensuring they're informed about GMB events, campaigns, and industrial issues. This empowerment is essential for creating a workforce that is both resilient and proactive in advocating for its interests. This motion is asking for the branch review to be designed for regional needs. As my colleague advised, the CEC has asked for this motion to be referred. But colleagues, let's work together to achieve this collective understanding, what fits, and share best practice for our members and for our union's growth and collective voice. Comrades, please support this motion. I second.
Thank you, Jonathan. Does anybody want to speak in opposition to those motions? No? In that case, the CEC speaker I've got down as Kevin to give the...
President, Congress, Kevin Buchanan, responding to motions 12, 13, 14 on behalf of the CEC, all of which we are asking to be referred. On motion 12, the CEC is very sympathetic to the arguments laid out in the motion, and after similar motions in previous years, has established a representative working group to review any options put forward and to try and establish the viability of applying amendments to the current contribution rates. A referral would give the CEC the opportunity to assess, 1, the effect on GMB finances of the changes proposed, and 2, the steps and costs of amending the online and membership joining systems to accommodate signing up on the correct criteria. On motion 13, the CEC is asking for this motion to be referred for further consideration. While we explore what more information could be helpful to establish early warning signs of business distress, we do not believe that creating an internal risk ranking system could be done within existing budgets, nor would it add value to how the GMB already allocates its resources and attention for employers with significant GMB membership. It should also be noted that GMB undertakes research and includes information for bargaining that indicate the financial health of companies other than in profitability and dividends. However, it's for our negotiators to consider and raise them if they believe it informs GMB's bargaining position and interests. As been indicated in motion 14, the CEC is asking for the motion to be referred so that each region can consider the adaptations to the branch development plan form when sending it to general branches which cover multiple workplaces and that are relative to that region. To sum up, the CEC is asking that motion 12, 13 and 14 all be referred. Thank you.
Thank you, Kevin. I did hear in the speeches that the regions would accept the reference back, but just for the record, for our note takers, London region, do you accept the reference back? Yep, thank you. Southern region, do you accept the reference back? Yes. And Southwest, Wales and Southwest, do you accept the reference back? Thank you. Because they've accepted, there's no vote on those motions, so we can move to union organisation, representation and accountability. So could I have the mover of motion 16, please? And can I also ask the movers and seconders of Composite 1, motions 50, 51 and 52 to come down the front and be ready, please?
Morning, Congress. Madam President, Mike Tinian, moving motion 16, the CEC is not a job for life. Morning, Dolphins. When I first put out to the branch about motions for Congress, I was quite surprised when I got this one. So this is it. And I also believe that it's a bit mute now that 50% of the CEC has actually changed in the last ballot. However, as the motion says, we are aware of the fantastic work that the Central Executive Council does, but we believe the CEC shouldn't be a job for life. Other unions limit the time anyone can sit on their executive or central committees. For instance, a particular rail union allows 2 terms, which is standard in most unions. A staggered system of change where different regions would elect their members at different times would prevent the loss of knowledge within the CEC, and those with a higher pay grade than mine can work out the small print. Change is a scary thing, but used well, it can be a benefit to the union. No one wants change for change itself, no more than anyone wants the same faces saying the same things over and over again. I move.
Thank you, Mike. Seconder.
President, Congress, Tracy Beeston, London Region, seconding motion 16. The branch submitted this motion around the time the current CEC agreed the election timetable and bylaws. As we all know, the election has now taken place and new CEC members start their term in office when Congress ends this week. I am proud to say that I'm a newly elected member of the CEC and I'm proud to be representing the London region. Looking at the election results of the 60 regional and national seats, 36 new members were elected to the CEC. So that's over 50% of the CEC are new, which to me sounds quite a lot. As the motion says, the CEC is the union's lay governing body who agree our strategies, policy and direction, and so as a current operator, it is good that there are still some experienced CEC members remaining on the CEC so they can guide the new members. The current term of office is 4 years, which may or may not be long enough to see the full impact of any new strategies and policies. We all know that in any new governing role, the first year is used to get familiarised yourself with what has happened in the past year, and the next few years will allow you to think of fresh ideas and see them roll out in full. Our motion just asks the union to consider a different approach to limit the number of terms a CEC member can hold office, to look at having a rolling election programme so a percentage of the CEC is re-elected each time. I understand other unions operate in this way, so there is always the new and experienced members in the CEC with fresh ideas. We are happy for this motion to be referred to a working group to look at this election process that has just taken place, as we do need to tweak some of our processes as the world of work and communications have changed. Please support our motion.
Well done, Tracy. Spot on time. Can I have the mover of motion 18, please?
Madam President, Congress, Deverell, North Eastern Yorkshire Region, moving motion 18. Thank you. This Congress recognises the need and the importance of a national review of Branch's working party. Congress notes that this issue has risen from the planned working party not convening for the last 6 years. Congress, some 6 years ago, I was asked if I would sit on the National Branch Review Working Party. To date, no meetings have been convened or are planned for the near future. It's 135 years since our great union formed. In these years, a lot have changed with regards to branches and membership. The setup of branches does not reflect the requirement of branches, whether that be public, manufacturing or commercial services. We no longer can use the philosophy of one cap fits all. We have branches that are self-sustaining, yet others are using Roman reps at significant expense to their branches. We have branches that are located on one site, whereas other branches may cover a large geographical area. We have branches competing with other trade unions for membership and others where GMB are the only recognised trade union. We have different campaigns throughout branches, and yet at times we don't share these experience or knowledge of such campaigns. Branches don't have a central to-go-to supplier for discounted promotion and retention purposes, and very little account is taken with regards to size of branches in respect of nominations for various committees, congress or councils. Congress is just a few of the issues that branches encounter, sometimes on a daily basis. We need to have in place a system whereby branches function to their best ability, where experience and knowledge are shared, especially when running campaigns. A system that takes into account membership, democracy, training and communication. I believe the introduction of the National Branch Review Working Party with reporting lines in place would be a benefit to all. Congress, I ask that you support this motion that we reintroduce the Branch Review Working Party so we can move forward with the times and branches that are fit for purpose and, more importantly, serving our members' interests and delivering an excellent service. This would also complement the work being undertaken at present with regards to the Rule Review Book. Congress, I move.
Thank you, Dave. Seconder.
Leicester be North Yorkshire and Humber Region, setting in motion 18, reinstating the National Branch Working Review Party. President, Congress, this motion is about reinstating the National Branch Working Review Party. As my comrade has already stated, this review party has not sat for over 6 years. This review party had sat for many years prior, and a lot of positive things were achieved for the members of the GMB. Branch secretaries from every region were on this working party, sharing best practices and how these practices could be used across the GMB, not just in their own branches. An example of this was the Branch Secretary's Handbook being adopted. Congress, please support this motion. I second.
Thank you, Les. Does anybody wish to speak in opposition to those motions? No? Then can I ask Andy, our CEC Speaker, please?
President Congress, Anne Dean responding to motion 16 and 18 on behalf of the CEC. First in motion 16, the CEC wishes to refer the motion for consultation with regions and the CEC review group that will be set up to review the 2024 CEC elections. The CEC will also need to seek legal advice as these elections are statutory elections held under the TULR in brackets C Act 1992. Second on motion 18, the CEC supports the re-establishment of the branch working party in order to share best practice. The qualification is that the branch working party cannot cut across regional primacy for branches and needs to take into consideration obligations around employment status and make concrete proposals to regions by March 2025. We thank the branches for these motions and hope that the regions and Congress accept the positions I've outlined. Thank you.
Thank you, Anne. Again, I heard it in the speech, but just to confirm for the notes, does London accept the reference back to motion 16? Thank you. And does North East Yorkshire and Humber accept the qualification on motion 18? Yep, thank you. So I'll just put that one to the vote because the reference back means it doesn't need to be voted on. All those in favour of motion 18, please show. Thank you. Anyone against? That's carried. Move on to union organisation, equality and inclusion. Could have the mover for the composite one, please. And also the movers and seconders of 55 and 54, get ready.
Morning, President, morning, panel, morning, Congress. Hope you're all okay. Right, my name's Angela Gilrain. I'm from Midlands region, moving composite one, leading by example. Right, leading by example is meant to ask conference to ensure that GMB practices what we preach, because remember, staff members, reps, in fact, anybody we engage with will never forget how we made them feel in whatever circumstances we find them, even when we forget what we've said. I ask Congress to take the first step forward, ensuring that GMB Union can say to our sister unions, politicians and other organisations, the list can go on and on. But most importantly, to our employees, members and delegations, reps, organisations on the front line, that a GMB is about being proud to say, sorry, you'll have to excuse me, I have dyslexia, so proud to say GMB provides all forms of accessibility to see and unseen disabilities in place for all staff and members across the UK. Instead of saying things like this or that is in place, we should be able to say we can provide information in all known accessible formats because we did the legwork and asked when we employ our staff. Registration members enlist our rep and organisations whenever accessibility is needed at the point of employment, joining and review this yearly, as we do for other stuff. Let us lead by example by showing GMB values, accessibility, inclusion for all. We provide in all our information in several formats and we don't currently have. Then our motto should be GMB will include you. Let us be able to say GMB ensures that all venues reserved by us will meet the needs of all attendees, those with seen and unseen disabilities. Apart from having disabled parking and a ramp, there are many other things to ensure are in place inside the venue too. We can ensure we are the leaders by linking with our staff and national networks in a way that can make us lead by example. Congress, let's stop being one of the followers and start making strides to lead by example. It's unfair to always experience that because you have seen and unseen disabilities. You are only included after you are emotionally excluded or left behind. Congress, please remember there is no transition without conversation. Please support the motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Angela. Seconder.
President, Congress, my name is David Makuch and I'm from Midlands region. When I first read my colleague motion, I was surprised and disappointed. Surprised that our union is saying all the right things, organizing inequality strands to discuss day-to-day issues that might occur in our workplace, but at the same time failed to engage with these strands when organizing our own events. I was disappointed with myself. I just assumed that surely GMB is on another level
when it comes to looking after all our members. I mean all the campaigns, big words and actions. Like during this Congress, I've seen that we have both sign language and speech-to-text transcription. From mine, person without disability perspective, it looks like it had been well thought. And I was disappointed with myself that I never asked people who knows, people who understand everyday challenges of being disabled. Is it enough? Congress, even if we done everything possible to assist those in need, we forgot about inclusion. We must engage, involve, and listen to our members from all equality strands. Congress, this motion has been composite with another one, which means that more of us recognize this issue. I now ask this Congress to show true allyship and admit that it was overlooked by us and will be done correctly in the future. Congress, I second.
Thank you, David. Move for motion 50.
Good morning, President, Congress, Robert Graham, GMB Scotland. The British Stammering Association Motion 50 is a really supportful organisation for members who are affected by stammering. They hope to raise awareness of the organisation and the benefits of affiliation. So we understand the CEC are going to move this for referral, and GMB Scotland accept that. Thank you.
Thank you, Robert. Seconder. Formally, thank you. Can we have mover of 51, please?
Deja vu. Madam President, Congress, dear Riddle, Sunderland Local Authority City Branch, North East Yorkshire and Humber, speaking on behalf of my members and activists to move motion 51 on equal pay. Congress, last September, a number of brave women who work as carers in Sunderland decided to take a stand. Through listening to our members, GMB realised there was a big injustice happening to our care workers. They were being systematically underpaid, and to add insult to injury, they had been locked out of the local authority pension scheme. Together, this meant that some of the lowest paid women across the city were owed thousands of pounds. These brilliant women from my branch stepped up and launched a campaign for equal pay. Today, that campaign is going strong. We have had quite a lot of successes. The week we actually launched the campaign, we gained 172 members. We picked up some new reps, and we even hit the national press. We know there's lessons that we could learn from our brothers and sisters who were running campaigns on equal pay across the country. And equally, we know we have examples of great ideas that will help others driving forward this fight for equality. We are asking Congress to create an informal equal pay campaign best practice group consisting of officers and lay members who have run real campaigns on the ground to share lessons learned and practical tips that can be shared with colleagues looking at running campaigns across the country. This would not only encourage the campaign, but would also allow women activists to grow their own networks across the union. Finally, whilst I am proud that our union is leading on equal pay nationally, it's vital that we also lead on it locally. Equal pay campaigns must be led locally by branches and organised face-to-face with the woman on the ground, and that means us all making it central to our thinking. Congress, I'd like to pass on the thanks to each and every one of you who reached out to the Sunderland ladies to offer your support and solidarity. This campaign for equal pay is not one we will give up, as we know the campaign for pay and justice for all women workers is not one GMB will give up on nationally. Thank you.
Thank you, David. Seconder.
Good morning, President. Good morning, Congress. My name is Sally Ryan, Leeds Civic Branch, North East Yorkshire and Humber Region. Can I just say, I'm a first-time delegate and a first-time speaker, so please go easy on me. I'm seconding motion 51 on equal pay. I start this speech today, frankly, in disbelief that women are still valued less than our male colleagues, not only in terms of pay, but also in working terms and conditions. I've spent my whole career working in children's services and family support, and I'm proud to be part of making sure that happen. And I'm so honoured that I've had the opportunity to make a difference to countless families throughout the years. Despite the difference the professionals working in these vital services play in transforming lives, they've been underpaid simply because their roles are dominated by women. Today in Leeds, we are running a major equal pay campaign because the discrimination that Leeds women workers have faced hasn't just been going on for years and years, it's also across every grade in the authority. I'm telling you now, Congress, you should really keep your eyes open on Leeds over the next few months. As a union, we have a fundamental responsibility to deliver on equal pay up and down the country. It's our job to make sure that every local authority is held accountable for the job allocation scheme, for ignoring continuous job creep, and for letting down working women for so long. This motion is all about learning the lessons of the campaigns that we are engaged in with now and using them to make our campaigns even better in the future. The brilliant women we have inspired and engaged with have so much to offer the next generation of equal pay activists. I'm so proud to be part of history in righting the injustice of unfair pay, and I'm so proud my union is leading the way. Congress, please support your sisters across the movement and support this motion.
Mover of 52.
Madam President, Congress, I'm Rachel Webber from the Southern Region and I'm a first-time delegate. Today, I am moving on motion 52. This motion has 3 points we would like to propose. One, we ask that the GMB back the Prostate UK's campaign, Boys Need Bins, which is asking for the law to be updated so that sanitary bins are placed in all toilets. Number two, for all GMB buildings to have sanitary bins placed in toilets, not just in women's, in a bid to end the stigma. And number three, encourage venues that the GMB uses to have sanitary bins in all of their toilets. Did you know that 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime? More than 52,000 men are diagnosed every year. On average, that's roughly 144 men every day. Around 490,000 men in the UK are living with prostate cancer, and sadly, 1 man dies every 45 minutes in the UK from prostate cancer, which means just today, while Congress is running, 10 men will sadly lose their battle. Today, we are asking you to consider what living with conditions like prostate cancer, Crohn's disease, IBS, IBD and bowel cancer are like to live with. These conditions I've mentioned can have a range of complications, but they have one common symptom of incontinence. So why, as a woman, am I raising the issue about prostate cancer? As a daughter of a prostate cancer survivor, I know firsthand that men don't talk about their waterworks. With incontinence being the main symptoms, one of the main symptoms, and 15% of men still suffering after surgery, this is a fact that cannot be ignored. Incontinent products used by men still need to be disposed of. So what do these men do with their waste products? Prostate Cancer UK estimates that 1/3 of men have to carry their waste products home with them. This is just not acceptable. As a mother of 2 children, both of whom have lifelong health conditions that can cause incontinence, I want them both to have equal access to sanitary provision. My son, who wants his own independence and dignity, is forced to use disabled toilets to deal with his sanitary issues. This is often with negative comments and looks from onlookers, as he appears able-bodied, something I'm sure that men with similar issues will have also faced. This causes embarrassment and inconvenience. Why should any male not be given the equal opportunity to deal with their condition discreetly and conveniently? As my son approaches his teenage years, I want him to have the same independence and dignity that his sister is automatically given, as provision is already provided for her. The good news is that 78% of prostate diagnosis result in survival. We can join with groups like Prostate Cancer UK, whose top priority is research and is the campaign that we're asking you to back today, Boys Need Bins. Picasso, who are offering free prostate testing to all men over 45, and to groups like Andy Mann's Club, who are getting men talking. We can stand with them and help them to remove the stigma. This is a really simple solution to a problem that is not talked about and will make a difference to so many men. As a GMB member, we can make a difference and raise a voice for those affected. Let's do what we do best. Let's help them to be stronger together. Today and going forward, we have an opportunity. No, a responsibility to break the stigma and be the voice for these men. Let's lead the way together. I ask you to support this motion and be the change.
Thank you, Rachel. Seconder.
President, Congress, Richard Nunes, Southern Region. First time at Congress, first time speaker. So please bear with me. Having been put in this position yesterday afternoon, I thought, oh my God. But then I saw at the motion and I thought, yeah, that's right up my street. My 87-year-old father has recently had his prostate removed, so it's a subject quite close to my heart. Why can't we all be able to dispose of these products in a safe and dignified way? It's shameful enough for a man to be using these products. Through time, and probably with the intervention of trade unions, women have been able to dispose of sanitary products, so why can't men? Like my colleague said, 1 in 8 men is likely to suffer from enlarged prostate or even worse, prostate cancer. Some men go as far as trying to dispose of these products down the toilets themselves, which causes all sorts of problems in our already overflowing sewers. Tories, please explain. Having had a toilet break a few minutes ago, I did not see any bins at all at this venue. Comrades, please support this motion. I second.
Thank you. Thank you, Richard. Does anyone want to speak against any of these opposition? No? Right, we'll go to the vote. Does Midland and Southern accept the qualification on composite one? Sorry. Oh, Elaine. And I'll call Elaine Daly to speak on behalf of the CEC.
President, Congress. Elaine Daly responding to Composite 1, Motion 50 and Motion 51. Firstly, the CEC supports Composite 1 with qualifications. The Equality and Inclusion team will make recommendations on best practice based on lived experiences of members with unseen and seen disabilities, including to the Congress Working Party. We are assured that this venue is accessible for our delegates, as outlined in the written stance to the region. Regions are asked to identify any delegate or visitor with accessibility requirements so that these can be addressed prior to Congress. Ramp access to the stage at Congress is always incorporated into the set design. We have also had positive engagement from activists in the refurbishment of National Office, who have advised on the accessibility requirements for the building. The first qualification is that emergency evacuation procedures are set by the Congress venue themselves and are published in the Congress Guide. We would defer to the staff of the venue on safety matters in an emergency. The second is that GMB premises are managed at a regional level and refurbishments are carried out on their timelines. Considering the success of activist engagement in refurbishments, we will look to replicate when they occur in regions. On motion 50, the CEC asks that this motion be referred to the Finance and General Purposes Committee to consider affiliation at a national level. All motions with financial commitments and affiliation must be authorised through the Finance and General Purposes Committee of the CEC. Regions are free to circulate information to branches on local affiliation should they see fit. Finally, on motion 51, the CEC is supporting this motion with a qualification. The CEC continues to support the work of the National Women's Campaign Unit and local equal pay campaigns. We celebrate the work of Sunderland activists in leading the way against pay discrimination in their workplace. The qualification is that Congress is unable to dictate regional spending or the use of regional facility time. However, the idea of dedicated regional support has been considered and actioned by many regions already, and the National Women's Campaign Unit will consider how we might take forward the idea of branch equal pay leads. Congress, please support Composite 1 and motion 51 with those qualifications and to refer motion 50. Thank you.
Thank you, Elaine. Does Midland and Southern accept qualifications, Composite 1? Thank you. Does Scotland accept to refer motion 50? Thank you. Does North East Yorkshire Humberside accept the qualification on motion 51? Thank you. All those in favour of motion Composite 1, please show. Any against? That's carried. Motion 50 has been accepted to refer to move back, so there's no vote on that. All those in favour of motion 51, please show. Any against? That's carried. And all those in favour of motion 52, please show. Any against? That's carried. Conference. Thank you. We will now move into the Union Organisation, Equality and Inclusion. And thank you, Congress. These will be our final set of motions for the morning. And thank you all to the speakers. Could the mover as motion 54 come to the rostrum, please?
President, Congress, Adrian Storr, London Region, move and motion 54 on support of reps with dyslexia. Congress, we are grateful for the role that all our reps undertake on a daily basis on behalf of our union. This role's got increasingly difficult through lockdown and where our reps have been bombarded with many online documents to read and take action on. Dealing with online documents is easy, and dyslexic reps would have to turn to assistive technology to help them navigate these documents. However, information about these tech solutions and help is hard to find as much online information is concerned with education, children and students, rather than adults aiming to achieve. Our motion is asking GMB to create and maintain a database or library of resources accessible for all members with information to help members with dyslexia better perform their role at work. We see this database as having information about tech solutions such as speech-to-text programs and associated costs, system requirements, capabilities and capability with our tech and system programs. This will help our dyslexic reps offer the same support to our members as our reps on an everyday basis at work, and not feel isolated or in fear for trying to understand members' needs. This would also assist dyslexic members wishing to become reps and branch officers in more easily fulfill these roles, since for many, this is a hidden disability with some stigma attached. Opportunities should be out there for all. The need to help others to feel part of an organisation reaches out to all and show encouragement that anyone can aspire to becoming a workplace rep. It's those dyslexic reps that will inspire members to stand up in the workplace with confidence. They will be armed with the correct resources, and that will give them the power to fight for their members. These reps will inspire through their determination to help others and not feel stigmatised and left with feeling they cannot do this. I pay tribute to one of our branch reps who has severe dyslexia but has the desire to become a strong rep in the workplace. True GMB values that. The desire to help, the desire to achieve, and the desire to fight and become the voice of the vulnerable regardless of their disability. Congress, all they need is a little help along the way. Let's help them achieve those resources and for our reps and members to achieve their goals. Congress, GMB recognises all workplace skilled and non-skilled workers, private to public sector workers at GMB. We recognise members with disabilities like dyslexia. So let us give them the right resources and support for people who suffer from dyslexia. Finally, we know GMB is supporting the motion, and we welcome the work done on neurodiversity, and we look forward to GMB Dyslexia Guide. Please support this motion. Congress, I move.
Thank you, Adrian. Seconder.
Madam President, Congress, Bismillah Mohammed, London Region, seconding motion 54 on supporting members and reps with dyslexia. What is dyslexia and how does it affect us in the workplace? We could go on forever with that question, but in a nutshell, dyslexic people often need adjustments such as large, easy-to-read fonts or page filters to be able to read off a page or website. These are just a couple of examples that I have learned from speaking to my fellow reps. I'm not diagnosed dyslexic, but I do prefer stuff on paper rather than reading it off a screen. Maybe that's a symptom, I don't know, and I didn't know any of this before I spoke to these reps. I bet a lot of our members are not sure either. We're asking for a shared database created and run by the GMB, where we can pull together data that would help reps and members obtain the information and resources they need that would help them do their jobs more efficiently. This is very much needed. In fact, anything that can make life easier for our members is welcomed. We need this, we want this. I second.
Thank you, colleague. Mover 55.
Jeff Sutton, Wales and South West, moving motion 55, Pride is a Protest, the next stage. This motion is calling on regional equality committees to identify one campaign, submit it to national so that one national campaign can be chosen. Once such a campaign has been identified and agreed, regional activists can then work to promote the aims of this campaign whilst in attendance at any Pride event around the country. This would give GMB activists purposes whilst on any Pride march, so we could be promoting this cause whilst marching. We could also organise our stalls when joining events around this purpose, focusing our activities to promote this and other campaigns, raising awareness, gathering information or signatures that could help us progress such a cause. One annual national cause for GMB activists to promote together with any local campaigns they may wish to prioritise. For too long, Pride events have morphed into carnival atmospheres, being hijacked by big business. This is partly due to the success of previous LGBT campaigns, which have brought about legislation giving LGBT better equalities in the eye of the law. However, there is always something that can be used to give us a protest. As trade unionists, we should always have some purpose to fight for when representing the GMB at such events. This motion is asking for the GMB to identify one purpose per year that activists nationally can promote at Pride, thereby bringing back the spirit of the original purpose of Pride, which was to campaign. It will give us a unifying purpose to regional LGBT forums as they continue to fight towards achieving successful outcomes to a GMB national cause while simultaneously promoting local concerns. I move.
Thank you, Geoffrey. Does anyone second it?
Mark Bowler, Wales and South West. Seconding motion 55, Pride is a protest, the next stage. Colleagues, we've been frustrated that Pride events around Britain has lost their purpose of protest and have adopted a more relaxed carnival atmosphere, celebrating achievements and the legal acceptance of LGBT into equality law. Whilst this is all good and not to be forgotten, we must remember the original purpose of Pride and its campaigning origins. As a trade union activist, our focus should be on core activities of trade unionism when attending events and representing GMB. The motion would encourage the union to better coordinate activities at Pride and give us a foundation to make protest, bringing Pride back to its origins. All our LGBT victories came about after the symbiotic support given to the 1980s miners' strike by a group of London-based lesbian and gay men who supported the miners, collecting much-needed funds to help miners remain on prolonged strike. This won over hard-lined homophobic attitudes of coal miners, who returned their support by putting pressure on their unions, the NUM, to put pressure on the Labour Party, which brought about the introduction of the Equality Bill. Building on such examples as this, one national campaign could help us to help others in a fight of solidarity, gaining the respect and support of others. I second.
Thank you, Mark. Does anyone wish to speak in opposition? No. I'll now call then the CC Speaker, Tracy Ashton.
President, Congress. Tracy Ashton, responding to motions 55 and 54 on behalf of the CEC. On motion 54, the CEC appreciates the difficulty that dyslexic workers experience in seeking out the best advice, resources and assistive technology in order to perform at work. There can be both a baffling range of information as well as an insufficient amount of support for dyslexic adults, and a one-stop shop could be of great assistance. The CEC is seeking to support the motion with qualification. Regrettably, GMB does not have the resource and expertise which would be required to build and maintain a database. However, GMB Thinking Differently at Work Neurodiversity Toolkit and the legal guide do contain guidance and signposting, and we encourage all branches to review it. Work on other guides will begin in earnest this year. A campaign guide on unseen disability in the workplace will also be available nationally, which includes areas on which branches can run campaigns pressuring employers to remove barriers to work for for dyslexic workers and provide and fund support and assistive technology directly. On motion 55, the CEC supports the clear steps and practical campaigning ideas outlined in this motion. Our qualification is that it is important in some cases for regions and regional equality forums to have local autonomy on the campaigns they undertake. Due to differing regional contexts and different capacities, it may not be possible to coordinate across all regions. However, the aspirations to do so is admirable. Self-organised groups of members, with members of the LGBT+ strand leads, network perfectly placed to undertake this coordination. To sum up, Congress, we are asking that both motions are supported with the qualifications I have outlined. Thank you.
Thank you, Tracy. Does London accept the qualification on motion 54? Thank you. Does Wales and South West accept the qualification on motion 55? Thank you. All those in favour of 54, please show. Any against? That's carried. All those in favour of motion 55, please show. Any against? That's carried. Thank you, Congress. That concludes our first session of business for the week, and we'll resume at 2 p.m. or 1400 hours.